So my name is Eric Friedman. I'm the Executive Director of the Mad River Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to welcome you to our Community Conversations event here. We have Efficiency Vermont, who has selected the Mad River Valley as part of their 2021 Target Communities Program, a program that began in 2016 with the goal of bringing energy efficiency to the forefront of communities' awareness, particularly for those communities with high energy burdens. And the Mad River Valley was selected this year because of the impact of the pandemic, and they're helping businesses and residents get back on their feet. So we appreciate that and having that distinction. And we'd like to welcome today two folks from Efficiency Vermont, Brad Long, who's our Community Engagement Manager, who is a longtime resident here of the Mad River Valley. And we also have Megan Chambers, who is the Small Business Manager for Efficiency Vermont. So welcome, and we'd like to start. I'll turn it over to Brad.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate the warm introduction there. Hello, everybody. So I'll dive into this. Some of you may have seen my previous presentation. This is an update to that with some bonus incentive information and access information. And I don't anticipate that this will take too long, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20. So I'm going to share a screen here and find my PowerPoint. There it is. We'll share this. We'll go to slideshow from the beginning. Okay, can everybody see that? I assume, yes? Great. Yep. So Megan and I are going to team up on this a little bit. I'm going to go through some of these slides, and I'm going to hand some of it over to Megan, because Megan's focus and job has been working with small, medium business throughout the state for many years. So her work really is talking to and understanding business models and challenges for the small, medium business sector. And I think that suits this group pretty well. So I brought Megan into the conversation just to talk a little bit about process and some of these pieces, but ultimately we'll share this presentation here. Just quickly who we are: we're a statewide utility. We reduce the cost of energy for all Vermonters, and we help families, businesses, and institutions understand and make better use of their energy use. The repeat slide. So the offerings, as they are specific to the business community, we have a dedicated manager that's a voice back to Efficiency Vermont and our partners. So if throughout this year you come across an idea and say, this is where we could really use some help. Even if it's not Efficiency Vermont related, it's something I might be able to channel back to our partners. As an example of the tailored work that we're going to be doing, I'll be announcing later this week here that we have a community-wide webinar scheduled for the 26th, Monday the 26th, and it'll have Efficiency Vermont and Washington Electric and Green Mountain Power and the Valley Community Fund and the Mad River Valley Housing Coalition and Capstone Community Services. So we're going to offer a community-wide webinar just to inform people on the different services and incentives that are available to them in our community. Another benefit of this program here this year there are free business energy assessment walkthroughs for all businesses and municipal buildings and nonprofits in the Valley. And that's the kind of work that Megan typically does. So we'll have her speak on that in just a bit. And then there is a bonus incentive for frequently incentivized business use mechanical equipment, as well as commercial kitchen equipment. And we'll speak about that today as well. So the bonus incentive, so it's a $200 bonus incentive. This is in addition to the standard incentives for heat pumps and heat pump water heaters. There's a $200 bonus incentive for commercial kitchen equipment, and it's a maximum of $1,000 in bonus incentives available through 2021. And I'm going to get into the details of that, but that's just a high level kind of umbrella statement as we move into this. So to sign up for your business energy visit, it's easy, it's no cost. You can go to efficiencyvermont.com/mad-river-valley. If that's too complicated or messy, just shoot me an email, give me a call, and I'll help make arrangements for you. So I'm going to hand this piece over to Megan as the small medium business manager. Megan and our colleague Paul Grenier are the two small medium business managers that'll be helping in our initiative this year. Paul is normally the manager for this particular region, but his wife is due any minute. So Megan has offered to jump in and help out. And so throughout this year, we might see Megan and we might see Paul at our different businesses and throughout the Valley. So Megan, let me know when you want me to advance the slides here, but
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect, sounds good. And one thing I just wanted to add to the bonus piece that Brad mentioned from the previous slide, these are bonuses that are only available to Mad River Valley businesses. So they're great to be able to take advantage of. And often, you know, when we do targeted and tailored communities, there are incentives and bonuses specifically available to businesses. So I encourage you to take advantage of them if you can. So to speak quickly about the business energy visits that we do, as Brad mentioned, you can follow the link on our website to sign up, or you can just call one of us, call Brad, call myself. We'll also provide Paul's information. And really what this is, we do not call it an audit because that's not what we perform. We're performing a high-level walkthrough of your business to help you identify energy efficiency opportunities, walk you through the different incentives and rebates that are available, not only from Efficiency Vermont, but from other partners around the state, and help you get going on that process to move forward with energy efficiency improvements on your business as you have time and capital available. Brad, you can go ahead to the next slide. So one of the things that we thought would be helpful is just to call out some of the current incentives that Efficiency Vermont has specific to what we thought would be of most interest to the businesses that you have. And Brad, you can advance to the next one. So over the next couple of slides, what you're going to see are some items called out, some commercial kitchen equipment that Efficiency Vermont has incentives on currently. And with the bonuses, what happens is you get these incentives up front that Brad will be going through in the next couple of slides. And then there is also the bonus available on top of what is stated here because you are in the Mad River Valley targeted communities for 2021. And the way that this program currently works is it's what we call a midstream program. So that means that when the contractor of your choice and or you walk directly into one of our commercial kitchen equipment vendors. At this time, we have two vendors that we're working with, B&G Restaurant Supply and Steiger Supply. Both of them that we can provide contact information for you if you'd like. Through both of these distributors, what happens is either your contractor or you walk in, you choose the equipment of your choice, and then the incentives come off right there at point of purchase for you from Efficiency Vermont. If you choose to not go through one of these commercial equipment distributors, that's no problem at all. What Brad or myself or Paul would help you do is we would provide this form that's on the left-hand side, and you would just get the incentive for the specific equipment after it's installed. So we have the two vendors available that you can certainly work with, or if you choose to purchase the equipment online, that's no problem at all. We can still support you. And the other thing to call out too is if you have a piece of equipment that you have found or that one of these vendors has quoted you on, don't hesitate. And we actually highly encourage you to send that information to one of us so that we can verify eligibility for you and just confirm that the product is actually equipment that Efficiency Vermont would support. And as a follow-up afterwards, Brad and Eric can provide a PDF that lays out all of this equipment on one page with the respective links and the associated incentives available for all of this equipment. So again, just don't hesitate to reach out to us if you just want to verify the equipment and the actual incentive that you'll be receiving from Efficiency Vermont. With all of this equipment, what we are doing, the links that you'll see that Eric and Brad will provide are links to the Energy Star website. And so with any of this equipment, you really want to be looking for a baseline of Energy Star eligibility and then confirming with us to confirm that you will be receiving an incentive. And then the bonus piece That will be another form that we will actually help you fill out as well. These are often, they're not lengthy forms at all, contact information and just rebate pay information that you'll be submitting to us. And I think that's it. Oh, one thing that I didn't mention that I wanted to just call out specific to the visits. So we're available to do visits either virtually through whether it be FaceTime, Zoom, Teams, anything that, whatever way that you would like us to accommodate you, that's no problem at all. We can do it virtually. And then starting April 19th, we are available and to be back in the field. So we can make an in-person visit if you are comfortable with that. We will come, we'll practice social distancing, we'll be wearing our masks, et cetera, et cetera. So just so to know, you know, we can accommodate you virtually and or in person after the 19th. And Brad, I think, have I missed anything?
No, Megan, okay. you did everything. I'm going to move us into the rest of the products with bonus on them this year. They split into heating equipment and water heating equipment. So in terms of heating equipment, ductless heat pumps, ducted heat pumps, and then air to water heat pumps. So depending upon your building style, the contractor that you choose may recommend a certain combination or a certain technology. When it comes to heat pumps, if it's got any kind of heat pump, whatever our current incentive is, which are listed out here, we're gonna attach the additional $200 on top of that. On the left side of the screen, we have the heat pumps, and I just have a picture of a ductless heat pump, and that's an up to $650 incentive. A ducted heat pump system is up to $2,200, and an air to water heat pump system is up to $6,500. It obviously, it follows some pricing logic there. The ductless are the least expensive of the heat pump solutions, and the air to water are the most expensive. So our incentives are built to kind of go in line with that and to help bring that cost down. The heat pump water heater, this is a combined incentive also from our utilities, Washington Electric, Green Mountain Power, and us here at Efficiency Vermont. And the incentive range anywhere from $300 to $800, depending upon the size of the system and some other factors. So the combined incentive with our bonus would be $500 to $1,000. So all these quotes here, all these numbers are showing the incentive that's listed to anybody in Efficiency Vermont minus the additional $200. So this is the $200 bonus how-to. Megan had mentioned this. It is another form, and you can access it from a landing page on our website, or you can just contact me, and I'm happy to help you with this form and get this moving for you. This is my contact information, and then I had one other thing to show folks before I wrapped up today and answer any questions. So just bear with me here, and I will show you one other pretty cool thing. Show all windows. Where did it go? Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, I think it's over here. We're going to share this. Yeah. Okay. So this is our landing page for the Mad River Valley for our campaign this year. It's efficiencyvermont.com/mad-river-valley. And in this page through our website, this is where I will be posting events. This is also where you'll find an ability for homeowners to sign up for the virtual home energy visit. The virtual home energy visit also includes a coupon to get $50 back on DIY weatherization materials, and that can be combined with our standard DIY offer for a total of $150 back on your purchases. Most people's purchases are less than $50 for this, and these are simple, easy do-it-yourself projects for homeowners. So if somebody gets a virtual home energy visit, they also get an additional $50 back coupon, which, like I say, combined with the existing $100 do-it-yourself weatherization incentives would cover the cost of all that and leave a couple of dollars in your pocket. And people can schedule their visit there. For renters, if anybody's renting a home or if they're renting an apartment, we are offering efficiency products, LEDs, water-saving faucet aerators and shower heads to renters. Pretty shortly, we'll have an option for landlords to order this material also directly for the building that they home. Right now, a tenant can go in and order this, but soon, like I say, we'll have this opportunity for landlords as well. There'll also be some additional features and benefits to the landlord renter sector of this down the line here a little bit later in the year. And for businesses, this is at Mahurons, which I thought was cool. It's before the fire because we can see the old fluorescent tubes up here. Now they have high efficiency LEDs in Mahurons. But these consultations, you can schedule a consultation right there, or like I said earlier, you can contact me directly. We talk about the $200 additional bonus, and we talk about eligibility and instructions right there. And then finally, this is some featured rebates. Wouldn't worry about them. That's not a big deal. A little bit about me, a little bit about why we're here and our community partners. Okay, there's the Chambers logo right there. And in terms of, we have upcoming events you can see this morning. We have listed the event that we have happening right now. The April 26th event we'll post here, and you'll probably start seeing some Front Porch Forum posting about that pretty soon. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody today, and that is the end of all of the new information. We're open to any questions that you folks might have, and happy to answer them, and then give you back some time.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate you filling us in. And any of our businesses that are here online, if anyone had any questions, now is the time. Mick, what you got? Mick from the Featherbed Inn in Waitsfield.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for putting this together. This is great. I've actually been working with you guys with Matt Sharp at EVT for a while. Brad, we talked about this at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I haven't actually been working. He came through and did a full audit, did an audit, did blower door tests on the building and everything else. So the thing that I'm struggling with a little bit is that as an innkeeper, and there are a number of inns, as you know, in the Valley, we're much more like a residential building than a commercial property. Mm-hmm. We're looking at our particular inn is 200 years old and needs probably north of $30,000 worth of insulation work doing. Mm-hmm. It needs, if I'm going to put heat pumps across the whole building, we're talking $45,000 worth of work. Mm-hmm. And it looks like you're sort of, this business program is targeting more sort of commercial equipment as opposed to the fundamental things that are costing us a huge amount of money. And the opportunities for saving are much more akin with doing residential weatherization than they are looking at actual commercial equipment. I mean, we've got 3 fridges, but they're just regular old bog standard domestic fridges, or 2 fridges and a freezer. Our heating equipment is not big commercial equipment. It's just a regular old boiler in a building. Yeah. And so I'm wondering how, I really want to do something, but I'm talking like a $70,000, $80,000 ticket.
Yeah.
And I just can't do it. I just cannot possibly, justify that kind of capital expense when I've got other capital expense that is going to directly impact my revenue stream. I think increased revenue stream by, renovating a barn, putting in a hot tub, doing the pond, doing the landscaping. But I want to do the energy work. I just can't justify it unless there's significantly more money on the table. So I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that, whether the new sort of infrastructure bill that the feds are pushing through is going to provide incentives that would actually allow us to get the work done that you and us want to do.
Yeah, well, I'll speak to this a little bit, and then I'm going to flip it over to Megan. One of the things we do know about a lot of the businesses in the state and certainly in the Valley and other communities like ours is that most of the businesses are operating out of older homes. They've been converted to function as a business. The heat pump water heater, the heat pumps, those I think you could find in both residential and business applications all day long. The commercial kitchen equipment is definitely more slated to, if you've got a larger inn or a B&B, like you're saying, if you've got 3 box refrigerators there, I gotta think that one commercial grade one that's higher efficiency would probably save you energy, last longer, the whole 9 yards. So we're hoping that this finds audience. The piece about weatherization, Mick, is a big one. And we chatted last time about this a little bit, and I think that there's a combination of strategies that might be effective. And certainly with legislation and some federal aid, we might have an increased budget for weatherization sometime down the line, like we did late last year. Last year we had a much more robust budget because we had Act 162 dollars, but those dollars are gone right now. So we're back to our normal budget, which means for a business that we're offering up to $3,000 for weatherization. And I know that's not impactful for what you're doing, but my recommendation and suggestion for anybody approaching weatherization is to consider parsing it out. If you can do that, because it is a big deal. I mean, for me, for my house, I had to spend upwards of about $5,000 to weatherize my house. I don't have $5,000 sitting around to do that. I took out one of our home energy loans. It's very similar to our business energy loan product, where I've got a low interest rate, I've got an extended term, and it was a very simple process through VSECU. And the way I worked it is my loan is cash flow positive. I pay about $50 a month towards my loan. I'm saving about $50 a month in liquid propane. I'm more comfortable. So that works for me. Oh. And I think that, you know, if I was in your spot, I might consider, well, let me tackle the basement this year. And then let me consider the attic in 2 or 3 years, something along those lines. We also have to kind of keep in focus that a 200-year-old building built in northern New England is really the worst case scenario when it comes to trying to weatherize structures. It's, I mean, fieldstone foundations and you know, a building like yours, I've been and you're in there before, Mick. It's a beautiful building. Those structures used anywhere from 25 to 40 cords of hardwood every year for heating and cooking when they were built. So, you know, so much has happened. It's hard to keep in scope, but I would encourage you to take it in pieces. Megan, do you have anything to add in that?
No, not much more. I was going to specifically speak to the piece about because you've already done the audit, which is wonderful, because oftentimes we can't even get folks to do that. So you've got the audit, you've got the write-up, and the piece about the basement and the attic, those are the two most important areas. And to Brad's point, if you can over time slowly work on, okay, what's the worst? If the basement is worse, let's address that. And maybe you do half this year and, you know, half next year. I think that's, the weatherization stuff is very intimidating, particularly because of the cost of it. It is just, and it is, you know, for a lot of folks, commercially and residentially, it's just a longer payback too than they're really looking for as well. But in the end, to Brad's point of, you know, what he's done in his own home, you know, he's more comfortable in the home, you know, he's using, you know, less propane, or in some folks' cases, less oil. So I would encourage you to just try and tackle that in pieces over time. And then, you know, reach out to other folks that are in your industry and see if there are, whether it be, you know, other grants outside of, you know, incentives that the small incentives that Efficiency Vermont is offering, if there are other ways to help tackle the projects through some other funding sources.
Yeah, the other thing I'll say to that, Mick, and that's something you can speak with Matt Sharp about, but when you're looking at a basement, 80% of the savings are going to happen in the band joist.
Oh yeah. I know that.
So, you know, when I did mine, that's how I split it up. I did the band joist, and then I did the lower walls. And it you know, there's ways to do this. I completely can understand where you're coming from an ROI standpoint and an investment standpoint. And my only recommendation would be to consider piecemealing it. You know, maybe taking a look at the loan product, and you know, the other way to kind of deal with this and combat this is to have a voice in the legislature. You know, it's you know, our voice back to the legislature, especially as a chamber member, is that, hey, you know, we've got these expensive to operate buildings. Comfort and building security and energy use are important to all of us, but weatherization funding is minimal for us. You know, we're dealing with a 200-year-old building that's iconic in Vermont. You know, this is what people are coming here for. I think anybody can go to a modern hotel in another city or an outlying rural area, but I think people come here to go to places like the Featherbed Inn or the Hostel Cervera, where you have a unique environment there. I understand what you're saying. I wish we had more funding available to you, but if we can help at all, I would encourage you to continue to be in touch with us.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So the other thing is, because often the inn is also a primary residence. Does that sort of open up I saw the 50% rebates on weatherization for residential homes. We live in the building. I mean, this is our primary residence.
Yeah.
And does that open up those dollars potentially for, sort of a custom incentive, sort of commercial / residential incentives? Could that be a road that we take?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Megan, but I think in this sphere, because you have you have a residence within your complex of buildings there, unless they are taxed differently, I think they're going to be lumped together as a business. Go ahead, Megan.
And the electric bill that you receive is your rate is a commercial rate. Is that correct? You get one bill, and it's
I'm not entirely sure, but I imagine you're right. Yeah.
Okay. But something to just confirm too, because if you are getting two separate, bills for residents and, a commercial, that could potentially open up some other dollars potentially. But yeah. I think, Brad, your thought process is correct. That is probably in this case just going to be commercial. And in this sense, it probably is just, there's a little bit more money available. So it actually is better for you to, in this case, follow that commercial path. Okay. Yeah. And one thing I will just say to the heat pumping piece is that's also, when you look at the whole business, the renovation of heat pumps is, again, we would encourage you to the piecemeal way of tackling it, in that are there specific areas that many of your guests gather that you really need, particularly that air conditioning in the summer? Because I know that's with the inns that I have worked with over the years, that is something that a lot of them are having to do just to keep folks coming, because if someone calls and asks, do you have air conditioning? And one says no, click, that's the end of the conversation. Yeah, the other thing that is that you could consider is they do make Energy Star qualified window units that Efficiency Vermont supports in the way of a mail-in rebate. So, yes, they don't, you're not getting the heating out of them, but they're less expensive, and they are a way to provide air conditioning to your guests, and they can just be taken out of the windows, when winter comes. So just something to call out, just to strategize about different ways to tackle some of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question, and we have a lot of local inns and lodges here, and I know that there were a lot of incentives offered for kitchen equipment. Is there anything being offered for these folks for laundry? Because that's something that they're doing a lot of.
I want to say there's a $400 incentive. Is it a heat pump dryer, Megan? Is that what it is?
Correct. And on Eric, Brad, that's correct in the way of a mail-in rebate form. And I would say, Eric, specific to the commercial stuff, we do see the heat pump piece a little bit more of the residential side. There are some, I would say, some pros and cons to the heat pump option. But on the commercial side, if there is that type of equipment being upgraded, that's where you would just want to reach out to Brad, and Brad can connect the business with one of our engineer staffs to evaluate the equipment that's being installed. And that would probably be, if we were able to provide an incentive, it would be what we would call a custom incentive. But we would have to look at what's the equipment there, what is being proposed. If there are energy savings, that's a place where Efficiency Vermont could likely provide a custom incentive to the commercial customer in that case.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Megan.
Sorry, go, Ryan.
Be for you. I think I had somebody come out and walk through the building once when I first bought it, like 2 years ago. Could I get somebody to come back out and walk through me with it again? Just you or your partner to do it, because it's like I have a walk-in refrigerator, like fryer, like a lot of stuff that's on here is things that I'm looking at. That's really, I need a new door for my walk-in cooler. Wish there was something for that, or maybe there is somewhere along the line. But I guess I'm looking for another walkthrough, if that's possible.
That's absolutely 100% possible. Brad and I can make that happen. And if it falls in the time that our colleague Paul is out on paternity leave, I can help you with that. Or if the date works for after Paul gets out, he can support you with that. And one thing that I will call out specific to the walk-in units, there's equipment in your walk-in that Efficiency Vermont can provide incentives on. So if your fans are failing, if the controls, if you know, you have some of what we incentivize what we call a high efficiency condensing unit, which is essentially, you know, that runs the walk-in. And those are the type of other incentives that we have available that, you know, if you're having trouble with the walk-in, and those may be the types of things you might look at considering in the future. So absolutely, we can take care of you, no problem at all.
Okay, yeah, that's just sort of where I'm at. Like, I have a lot of, I think I know what takes the biggest amount of my energy here. Well, I should say, takes the biggest amount of my energy. It's the walk-in cooler.
Yeah,
probably is.
And, and the door I know leaks too, so that doesn't help sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, no, walk-in coolers are a big. They are a high usage item for any commercial space that has them. So.
And if they're empty, Ryan, if they're constantly not very full, that your best move might be a different kind of refrigeration system, honestly, because when they're not full, they work really hard to maintain their temperature. But you know, sometimes I advise people get yourself a box freezer and fill it up, and you're going to be more efficient, which sounds counterintuitive. But I do want to echo one thing Megan said, that when it comes to businesses, because home use tends to be very isolated, whereas a business might say, I've got some budget this year, I need to make some improvements. We will customize incentives, and we will combine different technologies sometimes to give you an incentive package that is more comprehensive. So I would encourage anybody just to have conversation with us. I think that's the most important message that I have as a targeted community manager, is that call us, talk to us, have Megan come out to, or have Paul come out to your site and have that discussion, because it's not going to cost you $1 to have us come out and have a discussion. And because we can't sell or buy anything as Efficiency Vermont, we're here to give you objective advice.
Yep.
Hi, this is Susie Edwards. I thank you, Eric, for sending me this link. It couldn't be more timely. And Brad and Megan, thanks for all the info. I have a lot of projects right now. Some are in flight, some are on the horizon. And so I just wanted to say thank you, and I will be in touch.
You're welcome. We look forward to hearing from you.
What is your business, Susie?
I own a seafood market, frozen seafood market. So I have a lot of freezers. I also own Scallywags, which is a dog treat business. So we use a lot of dehydrators. Yeah. We are purchasing the laundromat. So we do have a bunch of upgraded machines coming today. So we may have missed the boat there, but and our house, we're pulling the trigger to finish our remodel. So we have a lot going on. And I guess I just didn't even know you guys were, out there. So this has been really helpful and timely.
Well, good.
Susie, don't hesitate to reach out to Brad specifically about the equipment that you've already purchased in the way of invoices with make and model information. And some of the stuff we can provide if it's eligible. We sometimes have the ability to work retroactively. So don't think, yet that those are done and gone as far as the incentives go. Let us take a peek at those just to make sure, okay?
All right, thank you.
The additional piece I'd say is I want to reinforce that, and there'll be advertisements in Front Porch Forum. I'm working with town energy coordinators to help with this, but we are going to offer a very extensive webinar on April 26th, and that'll be from Green Mountain Power, Washington Electric, Efficiency Vermont, Capstone Community Services, the Housing Coalition, the Community Fund. So the other utilities have some benefits and some incentives and services that may benefit your businesses and homes also.
Okay, great, thank you.
Keep an eye out for that. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, sorry I was late.
No, hey, no, good luck. And are you going to buy the car wash too?
No.
I've always wanted the car wash. I always thought it'd be a great idea, but I have a feeling there's something there that I probably should avoid, but I don't know.
All right. Any other questions from anyone for the official?
Yeah, I got a question. So if Green Mountain Power is coming in, are they going to be talking about solar PV rebates and programs and stuff? And
yeah,
Tesla Power Walls. I mean,
yeah, that's exactly what I asked them to speak about, Mick. I asked them to speak about any of their solar incentives, their electric vehicle incentives, their charging station incentives and programs, and their electric lawn equipment and e-bike programs. So I've asked them to comment on all of those items. Washington Electric has some suite of offerings between kind of like they have some Efficiency Vermont style stuff and they have some Green Mountain Power style stuff. So depending upon who the provider is in your particular location. Okay, the intent is to offer everybody in the Valley kind of what the electric utilities are offering and obviously what Efficiency Vermont and then some of the more local organizations are offering.
Right.
And Mick, I know we've given you a lot of information, but one thing I just want to call out too, specific to the heat pumps is the distribution utilities have funding, it's called Tier 3 funding that sometimes they have the ability to provide, they're looking for businesses to get off fossil fuel and transition to efficient electric heating and cooling. So sometimes they have incentives that are above and beyond anything that you're going to see us talk about here today or heard us talk about. And that may just kind of remember that as you're having all these conversations about the upgrades. You know, we would encourage you to try and tackle some of the weatherization piece because that way your heat pumps will be appropriately sized, but do know there, just maybe ask some questions around that when that webinar happens. And if you haven't already, when you have time, try and get a quote or two if you don't already have one from a contractor about the heat pumps. And that way with that quote and the information that you would be able to provide your distribution utility about the gallons of fossil fuel that you're currently going through, they can then tell you, okay, yep, we can actually bump this much more money to the project. So just kind of remember that piece as well. Is
there somebody, I mean, I've got an idea about all this already. So is there somebody particular that I should be reaching out to at GMP or should I wait for the webinar?
Yeah. I can provide you some contact information, and that gentleman will be coming to the webinar on the 26th, but I can provide it to you ahead of time if you like.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I'd like to start a conversation with him right away.
Sure. I'll probably the best bet for me to have him reach out to you. Would that be okay?
So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and Eric, can you give me Mick's contact information after this call?
Absolutely.
Great.
Fantastic.
Happy to do that for you. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Sounds good.
Well, good. I really appreciate everybody's time, and I would encourage everyone here to tell their business friends and neighbors about some of this stuff and have them reach out or visit our landing page. We are here to help these programs move through March 31st of 2022. So we're just now beginning our program this year, and I really look forward to helping out. As Eric said, I've been in the Valley for over 20 years, so this is my home, and I like the idea of helping out. As a quick little aside, Mick, the first night of my wedding, I stayed in your establishment many years ago. I'm since divorced, unfortunately, but I got married at Lareau Farm, and then we cruised on over to the Featherbed Inn. And it was a nice, brief, quick night, and then we got up the next day and tried to huff it down to where did we go for a honeymoon? Key West. It was August, so
wow,
it was hot.
Should have stayed right here.
Probably should have, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They would have, Mick, but there wasn't air conditioning at the time.
Yeah, it was a hot day, Mick. It was really, I mean, it was a stifling day for our wedding. I remember thinking, oh man, I'm really going to sweat through this, and I did. I was a sweaty groom at that time. Maybe that's why I'm divorced now. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, thank you all so much. Really appreciate getting to meet with folks and talk to folks and getting engaged with the community. This is really what my program is about engagement. It's about discussions, about conversations. And, you know, even here today for Megan to remember that, oh yeah, sometimes if somebody's looking at replacing all of their fossil fuel equipment with, heat pumps, the electric utility might be willing to help out a little bit more. So these are the conversations that count. These are the ones that matter, and these are the ones that can become effective. So appreciate everybody's time. It's really been enjoyable to meet with everybody. And thank you, Eric. The second of these webinars you've organized for us, and I appreciate your support. It's really, I feel it, I can recognize it, and I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being there for us and for our community. And Megan, thanks for joining us. And
you're most welcome.
Yeah, we'll see you guys around on the interweb.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.